Okay, if you're looking for maybe the fastest way to feel incredibly secure in your own relationship, we have the deep dive for you today.
Oh, yeah. We are jumping into a relationship meltdown that honestly gives us shocking efficiency, some high-level scheming perhaps, and maybe the most, decisive breakup in modern history.
It's kind of amazing, actually. We're pulling apart this single Reddit post. It got pretty infamous. I cheated on my fiance at my bachelorette party, and I don't know how to move forward.
It really is an instant classic.
Yeah.
And our mission basically is to walk you through the confession, the cold, hard end, and maybe most importantly, what the internet thought about who the real villain was.
Yeah, after all the dust settled. Seriously, this story is almost like a sociological study in rapid, maybe justified self-destruction, and we're here to guide you through the wreckage.
Let's meet the cast first because, yeah, we are dealing with some absolute characters here.
Okay, first up, we have the original poster, the OOP. She's F28.
Then there's Alex, M32, the fiancé. Though, interestingly, OOP later calls him Michael in this, frantic postscript at the end. Bit weird.
Very weird. Then we have Jake, the ex. We're calling him the domino cheater.
Apt. Because he seems to specialize in knocking over Alex's relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, maybe the star of our analytical deep dive, the bridesmaid Claire, or, as the comment section dubbed her, the alleged saboteur.
Ooh, ominous. So yeah, grab your favorite beverage, people, because this story, it's less about a failed relationship and maybe more about a, calculated extraction.
Right. Let's start where OOP starts, telling us how amazing Alex was. She describes him almost like she's reading off a checklist or like a LinkedIn profile for a partner.
Totally. Successful, handsome, charming, a leader, and this comes up a lot, safe. She keeps saying how safe and loved she feels with him.
That focus on external safety and success, that feels like our first big flag, right?
Absolutely. It's like she's describing security and status before getting to chemistry or, genuine connection. It just signals that the stakes are incredibly high for her personally. She's not just losing a boyfriend, she's potentially losing this whole lifestyle she's built up in her head.
Yeah, but he wasn't just a status symbol, apparently. Alex had this really impressive memory. She tells this story about them shopping, and she glanced at some butterfly decoration for a second.
And Alex went back later, bought it, and surprised her with it for her birthday. That level of detail retention is either extremely romantic or kind of terrifying.
I'm leaning terrifying now, knowing the context, because that same precise memory is what connects back to the problem X, Jake.
Exactly. When OOP mentioned Jake's name, Alex realized, oh, wait, this isn't just some random college hookup. This is the exact same guy who, years before, stole Alex's high school sweetheart when they were freshmen in college.
Wow. What are the odds? And Alex still held that grudge, a decade later. OOP mentions that when the original high school girl tried to get back with Alex years later, he shut her down hard, called her disgusting.
Yeah, that shows how deep that scar from Jake really ran. It was massive, permanent.
So, okay, on one hand, Alex remembers a butterfly from 3 months ago, super thoughtful.
But on the other, he holds this deep, let's be honest, pretty legitimate grudge against this one specific guy on the planet.
And the fact that OOP then sleeps with that guy, it just gives the whole fallout this, I don't know, almost mythological feel. Alex's only real red line was Jake, and she just looped right over it.
Totally. Poetry and disaster.
Okay, so the wedding date was set, December 28th. Good time. Everyone's in town for the holidays. The Bachelorette party was at a rented Airbnb the weekend right before. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, and the setting here is key because this seems to be where the, let's call it, sabotage intentional or not really kicks off.
So the bridesmaid, Claire, shows up. And she brings a surprise group of old friends with her. And guess who's in the mix?
Oh no, Jake.
Jake, right there. OOP admit she was pretty drunk, which, okay, fine, bachelorette party standard, maybe. But then she drops the line that defines the whole mess. I can't say I didn't know what I was doing.
That admission is just everything. I mean, she knew it was wrong, right? The alcohol excuse is completely gone. She chose wrong.
Yep. Jake was apparently focused only on her. She admits he still looked good. Inhibitions were down. They went into a bedroom. It happened.
And then, boom. Immediate panic the next morning.
Total panic. She told Jake to get lost, said it meant nothing, never contact her again. Standard morning after damage control.
But Jake pulls the classic, oh, but I've changed, I'm serious about you line, which is just peak domino cheater behavior, isn't it?
Textbook. And here's where Claire steps back in, crucially. OOP confesses to her, asks her to keep it quiet.
And Claire, our alleged saboteur, immediately agrees. Says it was, quote, no big deal and one last fling before marriage.
No big deal. 5 days before the wedding? That is not friendship. That's like actively enabling the demolition of your friend's life.
Seriously. And OOP immediately starts spiraling, physically. She's sick from guilt, throwing up, losing weight, and she tells Alex she just has the flu.
Which leads to maybe the most absurdly tragic detail in this whole thing, Alex's response to her flu.
Oh, God, the soup. He lovingly brought her homemade chicken noodle soup, made by his mom.
Can you even imagine? She is literally vomiting from guilt over cheating with his arch nemesis.
And he's there trying to nurse her back to health with mom's soup. The dramatic irony is just,
wow.
Exhausting is the right word.
Okay, let's talk about the speed of justice here. Because Thursday evening, the world just ends for OOP. Alex didn't come home from work.
Right. And then around 9 p.m., OOP gets a single text. Not a screaming phone call, not a long, angry paragraph.
Nope, just one photo, a picture of her and Jake kissing at the party. That is it. Nothing else.
That is Indian. Chillingly efficient. It's completely non-emotional, totally definitive. Alex didn't waste a single breath asking for an explanation he already knew.
The photo said it all. It screams, I've already moved past grief and now I'm just executing the breakup.
Totally. So OOP immediately texts Claire, obviously asking, did you send this?
And Claire's reply, the swift, brutal pivot. He deserved to know the truth.
Oh, okay. That is a massive shift from no big deal, just a fling, from just a few days before. That really fuels the sabotage theory, doesn't it? The internet absolutely ran with that one.
Oh, completely. And Alex took the cancellation public, like, instantly. Controlled the whole narrative, posted on social media, weddings off because, quote, the woman I thought I was marrying turned out to be someone I didn't know.
Ice cold. And this replies to comments were just as efficient. She knows what she did, and there's nothing left to say. Just done.
He just shut down every single line of communication, left OB2 in total chaos, trying to lie to friends that it was just a huge argument.
And then, just to twist the knife, Jake, the domino cheater himself, shows up Friday night.
Right. Claiming, and this feels super sketchy, that he didn't know Alex was the fiancé.
Yeah, the comment section on Reddit immediately called BS on that one. It felt way too convenient, like Jake trying to lessen his role.
But OOP, maybe finally seeing clearly, told him he ruined her life and slammed the door in his face. Small victory, I guess.
A very small, very late victory.
So the breakup moves from cold efficiency to, like, calculated extraction on Saturday morning. This is the part that elevates it from just personal drama to a case study in strategic emotional disengagement.
Right. Alex himself didn't show up. Instead, his older brother, Mark, who OOP previously described as excited to be the future crazy uncle, arrived.
Along with 2 groomsmen. And they didn't yell, didn't argue. They just showed up like professional movers and silently started packing up all of Alex's furniture and belongings.
It's the strategic use of proxies, right?
Yeah.
Means Alex was so completely checked out, he couldn't even trust himself not to get emotional if he had to see her again. Just delegate.
Honestly, props to Mark. The future crazy uncle turned efficient eviction coordinator. OOP was apparently begging Mark, let Alex yell at me, let me apologize.
And Mark just delivers the final crushing message from Alex. Alex had all the closure he needs, and she needed to stop contacting him, period.
Wow. And connecting this to the bigger picture, Alex wasn't just ending the relationship. He was like dissolving the entire partnership structure they had planned.
Totally. He told OOP via Mark to keep the expensive engagement ring because he had no use for it. Just wow.
And he covered his half of the lease, paid off his share of all the wedding costs they'd already sunk.
Which sounds kind, maybe, but it's really not. It feels more like a severance package, a payoff for silence and a clean, rapid withdrawal. He essentially bought his way out, severing all future financial and legal ties instantly.
And here's the real gut punch, the part that really highlights the cost of that stability she seemed to crave so much.
Yeah.
OP admitted she had let her personal trainer certifications lapse. Why? Because they had planned on her being a traditional stay-at-home wife and mother, which she said she wanted.
So now, boom, her entire financial independence plan, gone. She can't afford the apartment on her own. Alex paid most of the rent and utilities. She has to move back in with her parents.
That's the core insight the Reddit comments jumped all over. Her focus seemed to be on the guaranteed lifestyle, the financial security Alex represented.
Exactly. So when Alex left, he didn't just take his love, or whatever was left of it. He took the entire scaffolding of her future with him. It's like the perfect illustration of the risks of prenuptial financial dependency.
Yeah. Her final desperate plea in the post, calling him Michael, saying she'd always regret it. It almost sounds less like remorse for the cheating itself and more like grief for losing that safety net, that planned life. Okay, let's dive into the best part, the Reddit theories. Because the internet, as you know, is a fantastic, if sometimes unhinged, collective detective agency.
Oh, yeah. And they basically decided Alex was just a victim in a much grander scheme orchestrated by Claire. This is where the deep dive into the source material's interpretation gets really juicy.
The case against Claire is honestly pretty compelling when you lay it out. The overwhelming consensus was that she set the whole thing up with, like, malicious intent.
Think about the timeline, right? Claire invites Jake, who she must have known was Alex's personal kryptonite, to a private party where heavy drinking is basically guaranteed.
Right. Then she's the only one OOP confides in, which conveniently ensures OOP won't confess to Alex first and maybe salvage things.
Then she gets the physical evidence, the photo of the kiss, and what does she do? She sits on it for days. Gives the OP just enough time to maybe start breathing again, thinking the secret's safe.
Before she drops the hammer at the absolute worst possible moment, like maximum damage timing right before the wedding.
Exactly. And then there's the motive question. Why would Claire do this? The comments basically landed on three main theories. One, pure jealousy. Claire resented OOP's seemingly perfect life and security and just wanted to watch it crash and burn.
Plausible. Theory 2, more dramatic. Claire secretly wanted Alex for herself. Sabotage the wedding, maybe swoop in later.
Also plausible if a bit soap opera. Or theory 3. Claire was doing some kind of bizarre, twisted moral test on OOP, which she obviously failed in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, someone in the comments summed it up perfectly. This phrase got huge in the thread. OP hung herself on this one, but Claire tied the knot and handed her the rope.
Oof. Yeah, that paints a picture. Claire wasn't a friend in that scenario. She was an active saboteur with her own agenda.
And let's not forget Jake, the domino shooter. A lot of people thought the whole premise was just a little too neat, you know? Jake stealing two of Alex's partners, a decade apart.
Right. It stretched to believability for some. It led to this running gag in the comments about Jake being, like, secretly the most irresistible man alive, constantly getting invited to things. Jake's here again.
Huh. Yeah. It does raise that question about assumptions, though. Like, is Jake really just this clueless jerk who keeps coincidentally bumping into Alex's partners?
Or was he maybe a willing participant in Claire's plan? Did you know exactly whose bachelorette party it was? Given the outcome, Alex definitely assumed the worst. And honestly, after that level of betrayal, Jake's actual intentions hardly matter anymore, do they?
Probably not to Alex, no. And the final critique from the Reddit crowd was really aimed at OOP's desperation and maybe her perceived lack of authenticity.
Yeah, people pointed out the huge disconnect between her talking about loving Alex to the moon and back right before the party and then her actions with Jake.
There was one top comment that was just brutal. Madam, cut the bubs. These two things can't be true at the same time. She got analyzed as someone who maybe loved the idea of Alex, the stability he offered more than the actual guy, or at least more than fidelity.
Basically, the internet saw straight through the emotional language to what looked like an underlying transaction. She valued stability over integrity, and she ended up losing both instantly.
So if we pull back and try to summarize the key takeaways for you from this whole mess, consequences can be incredibly swift, severe, and really calculated when a relationship is maybe built more on stability than true partnership.
Yeah, that's one. And also, bad friends or maybe frenemies hiding in plain sight are way more dangerous than any ex-boyfriend could ever be.
Seriously, watch your bridesmaids, people.
And honestly, the true, unsung hero of this entire deep dive, the person who deserves the most applause, that's got to be Alex's brother, Mark.
Oh, totally. Handling that efficient, non-emotional extraction of belongings like a seasoned pro, that deserves some recognition. That is the gold standard of severing ties cleanly.
A masterclass in clean breakage, for sure.
Okay, so let's leave you with one final thought, something based on this source material to maybe chew on until our next deep dive.
Lay it on us.
We know Alex got his closure right. He cut OOP off completely, settled all the debts, moved on. But does the person who causes the harm, the one like OOP begging for forgiveness, do they actually deserve verbal closure, that chance to apologize face to face?
Or is living with the total consequences, losing your planned life, your home, your security, moving back with mom and dad, is that closure enough for the victim? Does the perpetrator get a say in the victim's closure process?
Something to think about.
Definitely. And maybe double check who your maid of honor is planning to invite to the party. Just saying.
Good advice. We'll see you for the next deep dive into the information you share.